Thank you very much for Sam Phillips for the £2 donation. Good luck, pal. Oz felt like watching 2014 JD. Cheers, bro. 2014, what a game. I like those performances again, that would be good. Right. Let's see what we can do.
Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, we are back with Inside Line Racing League Round 2 at Bahrain here today. And after the first round, finishing home, well, coming home in P8, I needed to really get a good result here. But this track, I was really not looking forward to for some reason, and I think this has been the case ever since I've been on the wheel. I just can't get in the rhythm around this track. I just think it's just not the setup or anything at all. I think it's just myself, and maybe I'm being a little bit harsh because the pace was still pretty good, even on one lap and stuff as well, which we're going on to the medium tire here. It's pretty much a one-shot qualifying because you need to go on the medium to hard to make the strategy work. And this lap was pretty good. You can see missing that apex there, so definitely a few bits I could tidy up, but it was just mainly just confidence, and especially under braking, as you can see, locking up into there and coming out of corners like this. I definitely felt I just did not have the confidence, particularly under braking, like here again, missing the apex, and on the traction as well, not compared to pretty much 90% of other tracks where I know I can really push the limits of the car. I know how the car's going to react. Around here, just feels like I don't really have any grip, and I just have no traction or anything at all, and I think it's just myself. Really, not the setup, as I said. I just think I just couldn't drive the track, and it's just a track that I have to accept. It's just not a good track for me. So around here, I was really, honestly, if I got a top 5 around here, as I said in the stream before, I'd be very happy with that. And you can see the lap has not been perfect. Definitely missed, haven't been as tight in apexes as I would have liked. Coming across the line now, currently provisionally in P2 with a 27.2, which was actually my best I did in the quali. So, or in the practice I did anyway, which actually puts me in P5, 4 tenths away from surprise, which that is a very good lap that he's done. So I think with more time, maybe another week or something as well, I think we could definitely get in the 26s. So raw pace is not that bad, considering I thought this is probably, along with this, and Monaco and Singapore, those 3 are going to be my worst tracks on raw pace on the game, without a shadow of a doubt. So I was actually quite pumped with that result, because normally my race pace and consistency is usually better than what I do in qualifying. I've got 5 lights here now, trying to get a good start, and we actually do. We get a very good start, actually going alongside OMG It's Joe, going to his first corner, trying to go around the outside of him as Syra and Carl Mitchell make a little bit of contact, going to 4th place temporarily as Joe is still on my inside, so leaving him some room on the outside here, and now trying to use that slipstream from Carl Mitchell. Joe looks like he's hanging back a little bit, but he continues to go down the outside. I see an opportunity round the outside, nowhere really to go here, still going side by side with Joe, and I'm going to break a little bit later, going around the outside for his right-left sequence, and we're up into 4th place, so a good start actually so far, locking up straight away into here, but actually making up a position into 4th place. A surprise leads this race along with Syra, who I expect them to be very, very difficult to beat around here. So right now, I was really happy with this, coming up into 4th place, getting a position done on Joe, and behind Carl Mitchell, who did a really good qualifying, but skipping on a few laps later, the front 2 have started to get away a little bit, because just their pace was definitely just a step ahead of anyone else in this lobby around this track. And now we're starting actually to catch up to Carl Mitchell, and we've got a big gap behind myself and Joe as well, as Carl Mitchell actually goes in deep, so there's no real threat from 6th place or anything at all. We can actually fight for a podium, and if I got a podium here, I'd be very happy. So we're going to go on the inside of Carl Mitchell, who doesn't really defend this at all, and I was quite happy with that, because obviously you don't want to be involved in too many battles, but I think he realised that his pace was a little bit behind mine and Joe's at this point in the race, so he decided to tuck in behind us and try and use us, because slipstream in this game is extremely powerful, and there's 3 DRS zones around here as well, so if you can just stick behind some, save some fuel, save some ERS, you're probably going in good position, as Joe actually gets past him as well behind me. And we've got a little bit of a gap to him, so I was trying to break out of this DRS, but moving towards the end of lap 10 now, I've actually started to form a little bit of a train behind me. As you can see there, a little bit of oversteer, so I'm starting to suffer a little bit of my tyres, and braking again, just going straight on here. I just find that corner, I just find it so hard not to lock up or trail brake into there. On the controller, that used to be one of my favourite corners, but with the pedals, I don't know what it is. I was just really struggling around here to be consistent and raw pace in the race. It just wasn't anywhere near the level I'd really be hoping, what I usually am at most of a track. So to still be in a podium position, considering that, I was feeling like I was in the lead of this race at this point. So coming into the last corner now, Joe hasn't really been able to get past me now. We keep on getting a good exit of corners, but I decided to actually pit in early to get a little bit of an undercut, which is something I don't usually do, but I was struggling quite a bit. But looking back on it now, I maybe should have gone an extra lap, because my exit speed was actually very good off corners. I had quite good traction, and Joe wasn't really able to get past me too much. We've been held ever so slightly because of the Alfa Romeo coming in behind us. So we've lost probably about another second than usual going through here, which is a little bit unfortunate. But now I've got to try and push as hard as I can on this outlap to try and get somewhat of any of an undercut on the guys ahead. But as I was saying before, probably should have gone on a little bit more than a lap or so, but decided to pit early because I didn't want to get held in the pits, but still got held in the pits ever so slightly. Going purple on my outlap in the middle sector. That middle sector was the only sector I was really quite good in for some reason. I had a quite good pace through there, even in practice, but it's just the sector 1 in particular. Sector 1 was very poor for me, as more so doesn't come out that far behind me. We've got Syra and Surprise. They've gained time in me. I've lost a lot of time, more time than I thought, in that pit stop, just being held ever so slightly by the Alfa Romeo. And now we're going to look to see who else is coming out. There's Joe here, and he's pitted 2 laps later, but he's hardly, he's come out right behind me at exactly the same point again. So I didn't think I really made any of an advantage going through the undercut, and now I've put myself at a disadvantage because I've got older tyres than the guys behind. And tyre wear is pretty crucial around here. Surprise, it's the fastest lap of a 30.5. We're going purple once again in the middle sector, but it's just mainly the first sector. The first sector, I was losing about three, sometimes even 4 tenths to leaders. Again, that's just down to my driving. I just wasn't confident on the traction coming out of here. Just needed to be more aggressive, but you have your good tracks, you have your bad tracks.
I got held so much when I went into the pits. I lost so much time.
But yeah,
to the leaders.
The leaders were only like 4 seconds or something ahead of me, but now they're like 7 seconds. So
everyone was quite far behind.
That undercut, I've just been held. I don't know. I just lost a lot of time, a lot more than I thought I'd be losing here. But still, to be in a net P3, because I think there's a guy in the lead, Jam Pancakes, who hasn't pitted yet, to still be in a net P3 after lap 16, I was really happy with that. But now I've got the train forming behind me once again with Joe, and I'm not sure who's behind him. I think it's Carl Mitchell or Rosberg, my teammate and stuff as well. They've all got fresher tyres than me, so I've got the oldest tyres in this train. But I was just trying to get a good exit off here every single time, and now it looks like Joe is going to be in striking distance, so we're going to defend this as hard as possible. Last season, I didn't defend positions as much as I should have done. This time, I'm going to defend it with absolutely everything I've got. He goes round the outside of me, so we actually give him room into here. But now we have got the DRS zone, which wasn't here last year. Almost losing the car once again. Got the DRS zone. We're going to go to the outside, but we're actually going to switch back down to the inside, making no contact, in fact. Third gear through here, trying to get a good exit, trying to control the car and do a repeat of what we did on lap 1. Go around the outside, and we managed to pull it off once again because I decided to really fight this. The leaders have gone. There is no way we're going to finish P2 or P1 this race, even if they had penalties. I'm just going to fight this as much as I can, try and wear out their tyres because they have fresher tyres than me, try and wear out their tyres a little bit more than mine in the process, and just give it everything for this P3. I've got no warnings or penalties at this point in the race as well, so I knew I was in a good position here. And as I said, last season there's quite a few races where I decided to let them go, and it really suffered quite badly towards the end of the race. This time I'm going to fight for every position that I can, obviously intelligently as well, but I'm going to fight a lot harder than I did last position, and that's the point I'm really trying to make when I'm doing it here. So just defending for my absolute life here. But again, always seem to get quite a good exit of corners. You can see he's not definitely a bit further away than he was last lap. So let's see if he's going to be in striking distance again, which I think he is. So we're going to go right to the inside, give him no room on the inside. He tries the outside once again, but we're actually going to squeeze him out a little bit here because we're entitled to the racing line if we're ahead of him. Squeeze him out, and now my teammate is getting involved. We're going to try and give Rosberg a slipstream because I think he's got the freshest tyres out the lot going through here. He's on the controller and he's very, very good around this track, and he actually goes round the outside of Joe. So the 2 racing points are in the top 4 in this race, and for the constructors, which there is a championship for this season, that's very important as well. And he did me a favour at Australia, where he gave me a little bit of a tow, although it may have been only a couple of hundreds. He's done favours for me in the past where he's let me go and everything. This time I'm going to try and help my teammate because he's probably in the best position right now to get a podium, probably has the best pace out of all of us in this little group here. So let's try and stay ahead, but still in P3 I'm still going to defend it as hard as I can because I need to get a good result here. I got P8 in the first race. I need to get a good result if I want any chance of winning this championship, especially against Surprise and people like that. I need to be staying with them. I can't afford to let them get a big gap earlier on in the season. We're coming in to the last corner now. Rosberg is a little distance behind, so again, just trying to see if I can just get a good exit of this final corner, which we do. Get a decent exit here, but the slipstream is very powerful, and the setup I was running here, I was running 3.7 wings, which looking back now, I think I probably would change it to 3.6, so a little bit draggy on the straight line. He goes around the outside of me like Joe did this time, but we're not going to squeeze him out here. A little bit more respect to my teammate, still maintaining the position, but unfortunately for me, he's actually got DRS this time, so Joe is completely boxed in between us now, and he goes around the outside. He did what he did to Joe on the previous lap on myself. I feel I'll get quite a good run coming off this corner, but he's going to do again what I did to Joe. He's going to go around the outside of me, and that's a kind of corner that you can't really defend against unless you're going straight on. There's literally nothing you can do as Joe tries to go around the outside of me, but we cut him off here, and that's my teammate into P3 podium position. And now, since he had pace, I was really just trying to hang on to him. If I can hang on to him and use the DRS from him to protect myself from Joe behind, then I still had a chance of getting this podium. I'm moving on to lap 21 now, and that's exactly what happened. Joe has not been able to get past me, and we've been able to stay with my teammate quite nicely as we almost lose the car, going out wide, just clipping that curb, which is just absolutely lethal. And we've lost a little bit of time, and Joe was not right behind me, but that could have been race ending now, when it gives us a warning as well, which puts a little bit more pressure. You can't really afford to exploit the track limits as much here, trying to get a good exit off here, and we somehow still managed to stay in the DRS of my teammate, using overtake, putting it back down to 0 to try and save a little bit. But now I'm starting to just lose my tyres a little bit towards the end of the race. You can see my teammate is almost out the DRS zone, and Joe tries to go down the inside here. We were within a second of my teammate. That's kind of put me out of a second. Pretty sure it has now. A surprise, setting a 30.1. He's just absolutely rapid around here now. Not sure what I'm doing with the MFD there, but let's see if we get DRS, and it looks like we're not going to get DRS now. So this is a point where it's looking very difficult to try and get the podium now, but still I'm going to fight this as much as possible because I want to give, if I can't get on the podium, I want my teammate at least to get on the podium. We actually bang wheels going into this turn 1 now, so I think Joe's getting increasingly a little bit more frustrated, but we get a decent exit off here. DRS line once again. He's been ultra defensive here, so we're going to go around the outside this time because he probably thought I'd go for the switchback, so we do something different. We're going to go around the outside like Rosberg did to me, and we make the move stick once again and hold the position in 4th place, as it is allowing my teammate to get away. At this point, I wasn't really trying to do my teammate any favours. I was just trying to maintain my own position as much as possible because I want to get as many points as possible in this league. Although I want to get a Constructors, I want to try and win this league, so I want to just try and get as many points as possible. But this is all helping my teammate, and Joe again can't get close to me on this middle straight, so he's probably going to have another attempt coming into these last few laps now. And let's see what the leaders are. The leaders, you can see the Surprise and Sire are different league this race, GG to them. But at this point I wasn't really focused on that. I was just focused on just maintaining this position as much as possible. But I do not have any penalties. I only have one warning in this race so far, and running quite low on fuel. But fuel, you don't really need to use too much around here because engine overheating is quite a big issue in this game, so you don't really need to run as rich as much as you think. But trying to get a good exit again, but I don't think it's going to be far enough ahead of Joe to really counter him going down the straight. And let's see what we do. Going super tight. He goes right to the outside once again, braking very late. This time he leaves me a little bit of room on the inside. I turned a little bit too early. I actually clipped the back of his car there, getting the DRS once again. And I think this time it's going to be very difficult. I think he's wise to what I was going to do. So this time I actually brake early, and now I try and get an undercut on him, which doesn't work on this occasion. You see, he's almost losing the car, and now I've got WOR Verstappen right behind, and the 2 Ferraris behind as well. So I've got to be cautious that I don't lose any more time. But on the penultimate lap now, managing to stick with Joe pretty nicely. But we've actually started to close in on my teammate once again. So Joe showing that he does have some pretty good pace. I think we just did a good job of just holding him behind, to be honest, this race. He has very good pace. And moving on to the last lap, I actually went out the DRS zone because my tyres at this point are just absolutely gone. There's just literally nothing left in my tyres now, as there's a lapped car, and I don't know what on earth is going on there. There's a ghost car of what, Pedro? I'm not sure what has happened there, and that has actually allowed us to actually close in on my teammate for the podium position. None of us have penalties at this point as well, and it's still completely game on. Don't have any pressure really from behind. Verstappen's dropped off almost out of a second now. And if these two come together, there's still a chance of this race to actually pick up some points. So at this point, I was actually really happy, considering that I wasn't really looking forward to this and I didn't expect a good result around here. If I could be fighting for a podium around here, then I'm pretty confident I could be fighting for wins around other track. Trying to get a good exit here, but this traction from these tyres, which I've had these tyres for about 19 laps now, is just not as good as the guys ahead. But luckily we do have our hot lap for the rest of the lap. I managed to save ERS for most of this last lap and trying to use the fuel as efficiently as possible. Joe tries to go down the inside like he did to me, almost making contact. I try and get a good exit off here now. Surprise, it's the fastest lap on the last lap of the race as well. Well done to him. Rich overtake, trying to get a good exit here, using all the track as possible. Do get quite a good exit, but it's a little bit too late. Coming across the line now, Joe very frustrated, and we have come home in P5. And honestly, I know you probably think it's weird me saying this, but I was really happy with coming P5 around there. I don't think people understand of how much I really struggled around that track. I just felt I had absolutely zero confidence around there. So to get P5 there and to be fighting with Joe and people for a podium, being that close to a podium, I think we can really look forward to what's going to be happening for the rest of the season, because it should really be suited to me. So I just want to say thank you so much again for everyone who supported me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time, which will be next Friday. Live streams at 7:30 as always. Thank you so much, and see you then.
You gotta try a little harder to keep it off your mind. Take a hold of my hand and I'll try